Hello everyone, welcome to the certificate course on material management. In this course, we are going to deal with all the basics around material management and ensure that after this particular course and having taken the certificate exam, you are well versed with the knowledge of material management and it adds value to your profile for any supply chain or operations related activity which you want to do going forward, whether it be in the form of jobs or whether it be in the form of admissions in any institute or whether it be for the growth within the organization you are working for. So let us first of all try to understand what is material management. Now we all know that material is something, it's a physical object or it's a physical entity which gets into building up of something much more concrete. So usually we call materials as raw materials, but even the combination of certain raw materials which lead to output of a certain other material can be termed as material. So that is why we do not use the word raw material over here. Now, when we say what is material management, it's basically a scientific process, a technique which has been arrived after a lot of research by the experts in the field to come up with certain intricacies which actually help you understand that what should be the ideal usage, optimization and management of materials at different stages. Now these stages could be the planning of materials, it could be organizing of materials, it could be control of the materials, and these three things, planning, organizing and control, they stretch from the initial stage of purchase of the materials to the final destination of these materials. This final destination could be a factory, could be a warehouse, could be a pickup joint, so it could be anything. But yes, till the time the material reaches its ultimate destination, from the initial point of purchase, every activity which gets into the planning of materials, the organizing of materials, and to ensure the optimal flow of materials, the consistent flow of materials, is referred as material management. Now, why do we do material management? What is the purpose of doing material management? Now, the most important purpose for any organization to go for proper material management techniques is to gain economy in purchasing. What do I mean by this? I mean that how can I leverage the scale of economies while purchasing my material? We all know that when we go to buy something, if we buy in higher quantities, we get a heavier discount. But that does not mean that we will go and buy in infinite quantity, because at the end of the day we have to keep those things which we are buying with us. We have to ensure that they are not getting obsolete, they are not getting rotten, and we are able to use them. Hence, we have to come up with the right quantity which could be a maximum in itself, that we can use efficiently within the stipulated time when that particular material is good to use, and leverage the economies of scale at the same time. And hence, an apt material management technique will enable me to arrive at what quantity should I go for a specific material to gain economy while purchasing. The second reason, the second purpose of going for material management is it helps me to ensure that my demand of material is satisfied during the period of replenishment. What do I mean by replenishment? Replenishment is basically the process where I am having my materials moving from the area where I have stored them, say a storage house, a warehouse, a godown, to the point where the material is getting picked up for being utilized for production or to be shipped in some other location. Hence, this entire movement of material from the stage of storage to the stage of dispatch is called replenishment. And to ensure that whatever demand of the material is there during this replenishment process, I have enough of material with me to satisfy this demand. It is very important for me to have appropriate material management. The third purpose, which is very obvious and you also very easily understand it, is to ensure that I never run out of stock. I always have materials in my stock to fulfill the need, to fulfill the demand of my factory, to fulfill the demand of my distribution center, to fulfill the demand of my customers. The fourth point of having stabilized the fluctuations in consumption comes from my point number 3 itself. Because if you will see, at times there will be a lot of seasonality in different businesses. According to these seasonalities, the demand of a particular product may vary in the market, and to ensure that I have planned my materials accordingly, that I am able to cope up with these fluctuations in demand, I have to use appropriate material management techniques. And if I am able to stabilize my fluctuations, if I am able to ensure that my materials are never out of stock, I am ultimately taking care of my customer satisfaction, my client services, and I am ensuring that I am providing a reasonable level of client services which ultimately refer to nothing but customer satisfaction. So these are the broad purposes that we go for a scientific technique which ensures a very optimal and adequate material management. Now, from these purposes which we discussed so far, we arrive at certain primary objectives. Because first I will have my purpose sorted, then I will have my objectives in line, and then I will have the execution plan. Now, what are my primary objectives of material management? First and the foremost is the right price. This goes back to my economies while purchasing. Second is high turnover. When I mean high turnover, it means I am having a very strong and steady movement of my materials throughout my application chain. Because remember that if I will keep a material at one location, the material is not being utilized, rather I am bearing the cost of keeping it with me at just one location. And hence it's very important for me to have my material in movement as much as possible till it reaches its final destination. And hence the high turnover is another primary objective of material management. And if I will have high turnover, I will obviously have low storage cost. That is one. And second, if I am leveraging economies of scale, I will ensure that my procurement cost is low. So low procurement and low storage cost are my another primary objectives of material management. The fourth one is, obviously, I do material management from the perspective of maintaining continuity of supply. I would not want my factory to stop its operation, to pause its operation just because there is a dearth of supply of raw materials. I will not my customer to go back just because I do not have adequate supply of my products in their warehouse or the distribution center or the retail store. and hence it is very important for me to ensure adequate continuity of supply of materials, whether it's in the form of a raw material, semi-finished material, or finished material. Now, while I am maintaining continuity of supply, I am ensuring low cost, I am ensuring high turnover, I should not be compromising my quality, and hence right set of material management techniques ensure consistency in quality as well, because at the end of the day quality is very important parameter for you to get a repeat customer. If your quality is not good, your customer is not going to come back to you, and hence consistency in quality is another very important parameter. Now, while you are doing all these things, you obviously go and procure your materials from a supplier. So maintaining good supplier relationships are also among the primary objectives of material management, because at the end of the day you have to get the best deal out of the supplier. Your supplier might be having the options of multiple competitors out there, and hence it's very important that you maintain good supplier relations. Now, if I have to do all these things, I cannot do it manually at every stage at every day, and hence I need to automate lot of systems. I need to bring in lot of information systems, and hence having good information systems is also among the primary objectives of material management, because a good information system today is the backbone of the entire material management process. Now, we talk about what are the needs of material management. We understood the purpose. The purpose was a very broad stuff. We talked about the objectives, which in themselves gave us the idea that what are the different things which I need to go for. Now, if I have my purpose in place, I have my objectives in place, can I arrive at some of the basic needs of material management as a gist for me to talk to someone and just explain in 3 to 4 bullet points that, boss, this is why I need to do material management properly. So if tomorrow someone comes and asks you that why do you need to do material management with such a great focus, you have the first reply as, I need to do material management properly to ensure that I have adequate material in my hand whenever needed. This could be for my factory, this could be for my distribution center, this could be for my retail store. Second is to pay the lowest possible price and do not compromise at the quality while going for the lowest best possible price. We understand this? Because just to get a low price, we will not compromise with the quality, and hence material management allows us to go for the right combination of price and quality. Third is to minimize the inventory investment, which obviously, because if I am going to put a lot of materials in my inventory which are not being used, which are not in the movement of my entire application chain, are going to add to my cost, and hence they are going to reduce my profit, and hence it's very important for me to ensure minimum inventory investment. And lastly, to operate efficiently across the entire application chain of my materials. This could be from the stage of planning to procurement to going to factory to going to warehouse to going to distribution center to going to my retail store. So this entire chain, which I am referring to as application chain over here, how does it operate efficiently with the right use of my materials in the right quantity and with the optimal quality. So these four are broadly the needs for doing material management. So with this, we come to the end of the introductory session on material management. From the next session, we will start getting into the details of the different objectives, the different purposes which we have discussed, and then we will move ahead to the different techniques, the different processes which get into material management, what kind of formulas are used, what kind of theories go, what kind of case studies are there. We will be dealing with all of them in the upcoming sessions. This session was majorly focused on giving you the slight introduction of material management, what it is and why is it important for the organization to go for.